What kid is there who's 12 years old in our country who has not been before the TV so much that he's not seen 20 or 30,000 murders, sexual scenes, violence, every kind of... We're raising kids that are old before their time. They come with a cheap pseudo-adulthood before the time that is wise-alecky, cynical, corrupted. They've seen. Jesus said, unless you come as a child. But even where is there a child of our generation except nurtured in a Christian environment? But any child that's in the world already knows too much about the wrong things. Cynical, looking at their parents and sizing up dad and speaking perversely to him or about him. Purity of heart affects all seeing. Seek the Lord and let his Spirit illumine and show those areas that are compromised, that are deceitful. There's got to be a certain ruthlessness about sin, about transgression, about deceit, about guile. Pure in heart shall see God. To be blameless, conscience undefiled before God and with men.
Have you got the Christian courage to change your home and purge out everything that isn't of God? We want to be blessed of God, but we want God to bless us on our terms. We'll not practice family prayer, careless about it, rush off without it. We'll not take time for secret prayer, haven't got the time. We'll not forgive those who've wronged us. We'll not seek to be reconciled with those with whom we've quarreled. We'll not pick up our cross and take it and say, Jesus, I my cross have taken all to leave and follow thee.
Your Son, Jesus Christ, this is the true God. This is life everlasting. This is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, when you send.
The Apostle John, the beloved disciple. He was very close to Jesus upon the earth. What happens to John the Apostle in Revelation chapter 1 is this. For the first time, he really sees Jesus as he really is. He says, I fell on my face as though I was dead. Such is the unapproachable glory of the Jesus that he meets in heaven. See, we don't believe in a God that's lofty enough in our day. We don't believe in the God of the Jews. The Jews knew to fear God. Our God the Father is a guy that when we die, we're all going to go up and shake his hand. You know, we're going to go up and say, hi God, and we're expecting him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. But we've forgotten that he will be sitting upon the great white throne, and it says, from his face the earth and the heavens have fled away. The earth and the heavens have fled away. You see, we're serving the wrong God. We have an erroneous impression of God that he's just going to take in sinners by the bucket load. No, he ain't taking in any sinners. He's killing them all and sending them to hell. He cannot stand sin. He hates sin as much today as he always did. What he's in the business of is utterly transforming sinners so they no longer offend him, so he can bear to be around them. Do you understand this? This is the basic understanding of the true God. So many of our prayers are prayed in this fleshly, casual, and they just bounce off the ceiling, and I'm surprised if God hears many of them at all. It's a miracle if he hears some of the prayers, many of the prayers that are prayed. What happens when you are approaching the holy God, the judge of all the earth, the God high and lifted up, and his train fills the temple, and every time they cry out, those angels cry out, it says the smoke fills the room, the door pillars shake every time they cry out, and they're continually crying out about the worthiness and the glory of God. Day and night, there's angels over the throne of God crying out, how holy and glorious and worthy is he.
His Son, Jesus Christ, this is the true God. This is life everlasting. This is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ.
Now, as I've said repeatedly, I believe that is the baptism of water, and I believe there's a baptism of fire. But I believe that the great need of the Church of God, and particularly holiness people right here, is a baptism of honesty. We just won't be honest. We hide behind doctrine. We hide behind terms and phrases. If you ask a man, if you're a Christian, he says, I don't smoke, I don't dance, I don't swear, I don't do this. Well, neither do nuns in convents, and neither does Kentucky. He doesn't do those things either. It's a tragedy when you try and prove your fundamentalism by what you don't do. Rather, the thing is, prove it by what you do.
We do not live in anything remotely like New Testament Christianity.
We think gentle Jesus, meek and mild is coming. Forget it. Everybody likes that hymn. Charles Wesley wrote it. What about, I wrote to a guy this, as I said, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning. Lo, he comes with clouds. When he comes, he's going to be terrible in his majesty. Nobody's going to jump on his knee or say, Papa, I've come to see you. Forget it. We're going to fall. I mean, if John fell at his feet as dead, and John used to lay his head on his bosom, what are you and I going to do? But we don't live in that realm. We don't live in the realm of the Spirit. We live in the realm of reason. And we've reasoned, oh, God is a loving God. He doesn't send more judgment. He does. He's going to do.
Again, let me say it begins in the realm of honest. These are days when there is a tendency to cover up sin. Now might I ask a question here that may disturb you. Is it true that Calvary covers it all? Calvary will not cover what you've got to uncover. If there is something hidden in your heart that you know to be wrong, Calvary will not cover what you've got to uncover.
Dear brothers, when you and I go to the judgment, we're not going to have our passports checked. We're going to have our baggage checked. What have we been collecting all our lives? When are we going to get serious about being serious about the most serious thing in the world, the birth of people at the altar? I watched the close of a service in Dallas a few weeks ago. At the end, about 15 people came in 4 minutes. They said a prayer and gone away. Well, my reaction to that, brother, was this. I can't get my car through a car wash in 4 minutes. Can they pass from death unto life? Can they put off the old man and put on the new man, as you use the figure? Can they get married to Christ in 4 minutes? Of course not. I don't often watch TV. I watch a special. There was a special about 3 years ago. Well, it was a special on animals, the birth of a giraffe. Now I said to Martha, well, darling, I want to see this. So anyhow, the guy said, now listen, I've already gone through this once, but let me show you. And he brought in this female. He said, look, her head is 14 feet from the ground, which I thought was a long way. And he said, I've been through this, so watch. He said, now look, she's spreading her legs at the back. You see that black thing hanging? That's a little baby, and it's going to fall 5 to 6 feet onto a bed of straw. So what's that got to do with the gospel? It broke my heart. Why? Because I watched that thing. And he said, now watch the next. Now you see the thing's coming now. Now watch. He said, there. And the thing dropped onto the big bed of straw. And he said, now this takes between 3 and 4 hours. And he said, now watch. And the little thing tried to get up and it rolled over. It tried again, it rolled over. It tried up again, it rolled the other way. Now watch carefully, he said. And the next time it tried, the mother put a hoof behind its backside and lifted it up, and it stood up. And she turned round and nodded. And the little thing nodded. And he said, that's almost 4 hours. So I ran into the room to pray, and Mother said, what's wrong? I said, darling, I said, it takes 4 hours to get a baby giraffe born. It doesn't take 4 minutes for somebody to get born at our altars today. Just stay a few minutes. Stay a few minutes in God's name. What do you mean, stay a few minutes? Was Gethsemane a few minutes? Was the temptation in the wilderness a few minutes?